You're live.
How's everybody doing tonight? I hope you're having a wonderful Friday night. Welcome to a impromptu Ike Live fireside chat. Man, I've got super special guest with me tonight. One of the beautiful things about being in the sport of professional fishing is not just the fishing opportunities, but the guys I get to meet, the friends I get to make through the sport. It's unbelievable. And I've got a guy sitting next to me that I met today for the first time. I didn't want to tell him earlier that I was a closet stalker fan for the last 3 or 4 years, but maybe I just said that now. But I got a chance to fish with this guy, hang out with this guy, and I'm so excited to introduce the one and only Lane Johnson tonight here.
Appreciate
How you doing,
having
man?
me. Hey. Hey, we had us a day today.
Dude, we had a good time. First of all, thank you for coming. By the way, let me also let everybody know, they can't see him, but Gabe's in the back.
Gabe Wrangle.
Yes, Gabe's your trainer,
Yep.
your confidant, your friend.
Yeah, he's the guy behind everything. He makes all the big decisions.
He makes big decisions.
Big
And by the
decisions.
way, Gabe, ex-Marine, thank you for your service, Gabe. We appreciate that so much. Thank you. But this is awesome. So, give you a little bit of background. So, Becky is sort of in the world of professional fishing. Everything's like a quarter of what it is in mainstream other
Yeah.
sports.
Yeah.
So Becky's sort of my agent, right? So Becky says, "Oh my God, you're not going to believe it, but Lane wants to actually come out and fish with you." And I'm like, "Get the fuck out of here!" I'm like, "That's it." I'm like, "You're pulling my leg." I'm
Yeah.
like, "There ain't no way." And like she's like, "Show me like the email from your other guy." That's like,
Ryan, yeah.
and I couldn't believe it. And I was like, "This is so freaking cool."
This is about 7 years overdue. I should have done it when I first got here.
It's unreal, but it is beautiful. We talked about this in the boat earlier, which is fishing, hunting, the outdoors. It brings people together from
Yeah.
other walks of life.
Yeah, well, you get out there and you get away from technology, and it's just you and the water and fishing, and so you get great conversations, and you can get a whole lot accomplished out there on the water too. So
You
it's
can.
always a good time.
You can. All right, so let's get right to it. Before we get into this, I do want to let everybody know that we fished today. Okay. Now I know what you're thinking right now. If you live in the Northeast, if you're anywhere from Maryland to New York, I know what you're thinking. You're crazy. No way you guys fished today. Dude, we fished today.
Yeah, we did. I'm from Texas. So
On a scale from 1 to 10, Lane, how cold was it out there? How cold? How bad was it?
well, the wind chill and everybody can act tough, and usually everybody tries to do that in the beginning. But towards the end, them knuckles are you can barely feel them. The hands cold. So it was
Cold.
so when the rods on the ice.
That's a telltale
Yeah.
sign of how cold it actually
Yeah,
was.
so they started freezing over,
Yep.
and so that's
Yep.
when you know it's cold.
It's cold. So we went out today, and our expectations were pretty low. As soon as you guys got here,
Yeah, I didn't
first
think we
thing
were
I
catching
said to
anything.
you, I said, "Please, can we take a rain check? Can we do
Yeah.
this another time?" Low expectations, but we did make it happen today.
Hey, we actually caught something. So I told Gabe even coming in, I was like, hey, this I've been around some, but
Yes.
I said, this isn't just prime conditions.
Yes, we caught fish today. Believe it or not, we caught fish, and typical South Jersey cold front conditions. Fish weren't active, but we ended up catching some pickerel and some yellow perch. And this one's going to be hard for me to admit, but I'm going to go ahead and admit it. I pride myself in being a decent fisherman. And who caught the first fish today?
I did, Coach.
There you have it. There you have it. Lane caught the first fish on a chatterbait.
Chatterbait.
Of all baits, the freaking bait that works anywhere you go, a chatterbait. It's interesting. I'll be honest with you. So we've had opportunities to fish with celebrities and athletes and guys from all walks of life. And I've had a lot in my boat over the years that, you say, all right, here's what we're going to be doing, and you hand them a spinning rod. And the first thing they do is the spinning reel is upside down.
Facing them.
It's the spinning reel's upside down. They don't know how to cast it.
That's how you got to start your day.
Yeah.
Hey.
So I do want to talk you up a little bit here. So I gave Lane a spinning reel. I was so happy you knew how to hold it right. But about like 10 minutes in, I could just tell him, like, I could tell finesse ain't your game. And I could kind of see you looking around a little bit, and I'm like, you fish a casting reel? And you said, I'd rather fish a casting reel. So I dug in there. How is growing up where you grew up, growing up in Oklahoma, in Texas, in that part of the country, was fishing a casting reel? Was that something that just came naturally as your family?
Yeah. Well, I had two older cousins on my dad's side, so and one of them's I think 9 years older, and he fishes tournaments, and then the other one's 5. But that's all he did was fish, and so every time I was around him, that's all we did. So it went from a handy dandy Zebco, and then it went to bait casts, and after a few times of backlash, and you kind of get the hang of it. So that's what I rather throw.
You feel more comfortable.
Feel comfortable, yeah. I remember the first really I think I ever got was a Shimano bait cast, and boy, you could sling it. If you could put a spoon on it, you could sling it out there a good ways.
Way out there. There. Let me stop real quick, and I want to introduce the rest of the cast tonight. Of course, I can't do this by myself because I don't know anything about this shit. Pushing buttons tonight, we have the one and only producing the show. We have Brian the Carpenter. Brian, how you doing tonight?
How you doing?
I'm good, man.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, Lane.
Yeah.
Hey, good to see you.
And, of course, next to Brian, we have the one and only Zach the intern, a.k.a. Zog.
Hey, what's going on?
Hi, Zog. I like that one. I like the Zog one.
I like
I do
Trevor
too.
better.
You like the Trevor
Trevor?
better? Yeah, so he's got 2 nicknames already.
All right.
Trevor and Zog.
Which one are you now? You Trevor?
Yeah, I'm Trevor right
Okay.
now.
All right, Trevor. All right. Also, real quick, I do have to throw in Brian the Carpenter. You stopped by a Founders Brew.
Yeah, little tap takeover that they had tonight.
Tap takeover.
Tap takeover.
And you brought back 2 crowlers
Yes.
of French
toast bastard.
I feel like a bastard right now. It's done hit me a little
I
bit.
had a couple before I got here.
If I'm being honest.
Apparently, I popped the brain cell that was holding the word French toast bastard in it.
So listen, if nobody hears any audio right now, if her lips are just moving, it's all Brian's fault because he's drunk tonight off of these. Really good. I would say it doesn't even taste like beer.
Becky,
Gabe, back me up on this one,
Becky,
Gabe.
have you tasted it yet?
Oh, my God.
What are you doing?
You got to try this one. So it is French toast bastard.
French toast bastard. It's a Scotch ale.
Scotch ale.
It tastes like dessert. It's ridiculous. It's an 11% beer.
So
Holla. And
It'll sneak up on you.
oh my God, Becky, get in there.
11%.
Lean down, girlfriend.
It does not taste like beer. It tastes like dessert. Tastes like dessert.
That would actually go good on vanilla ice cream.
Really.
Tastes like a good Friday night.
That's right.
Unbelievable. Getting back to it. So I do want to talk about this because I feel like when you grow up in the South, when you grow up in Texas, Oklahoma, Alabama, Florida, Georgia, fishing, hunting, it's a part of who you are. Am I right with that?
Yes.
I mean, it's a part of the culture.
One thing that's funny is about my dad. He doesn't give a damn. I mean, he cares about the sports, but
Yeah.
I remember one time I missed a deer, and hey, I don't think the son much talked to me for about 3 days.
He was mad at you.
He was
for it.
pissed. It was like he was a failure of a father.
Yeah.
Damn it, my son can't shoot a gun.
That's unbelievable.
So, oh yeah.
It's unbelievable. And it's a little bit of a different world here. You good, Brian? You need anything? A little closer.
Closer.
It is a little bit of a different world here in the Northeast because we have hunting and fishing, but from a standpoint of getting introduced to it as a kid through your family doesn't happen as much. Doesn't happen as much. But there's something else, and again, this is just my opinion. If you think I'm wrong, please tell me. When you grow up in Texas and Oklahoma, besides hunting and fishing, there's other thing that I feel like is part of the culture, and it's football.
It is.
It's football. Tell me about that. I mean, when did it become part of who you are?
Well, I remember, I guess just even junior high games where I was at, just
I don't hear anything. All right, there you go.
yeah.
Brian the Carpenter messing up.
Even just from an early age, being in junior high sports, even all the stands are full for every game, and then like I guess my best description of it would be like Friday night lights. How you go through the towns and everything would be closed for a Friday night game because
it was that way.
well, it's like if you win a district ball game, hey man, that's a lot of hey, you can go places and feel good about it. You know, if you're not winning, it's not a good thing. So that's how high school football was, and I think it's it's getting very competitive now. You know, some of those big schools in Dallas and Houston, powerhouses produce a lot of athletes over the years. So it's a lot like Friday Night Lights as far as the field, the energy. Starting every August. It was a lot of fun.
That's a cool part of the culture because up here in the Northeast, and Brian the Carpenter, Miss Janet, Miss Becky, back me up on this. That feeling of what you're describing, Friday Night Lights, I don't think that's as much a part of the culture here. I didn't experience that in high school. I didn't experience it at college. We went to Rowan. Their football team's ranked like 3,000th on the bottom of the list.
Excellent.
But I didn't see it and feel it until our daughter, our 19-year-old, started going to LSU. Dude, the first LSU game I went to, Lane, I swear, I wasn't even there yet. I was like tailgating. I was like walking around campus. I could feel that energy, and it was so real. Like you could cut it with a knife.
People wait all year for this.
People wait all year, but that's the environment to a certain extent that you grew up in, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. That's amazing. That's amazing. Now, I didn't have this note written down, but I did want to pull out this fact, and this is just me and you talking over dinner. You actually like basketball better. Mm-hmm. Growing up, you liked basketball
better. That's all I did. Football? I mean, I had a driveway, a pretty big driveway, so you put a basketball goal up, and that's what I did.
Wow. Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Yeah, so even where I was from, so basketball was pretty much the main sport over football.
Right.
And it was very competitive as far as youth leagues. I mean, it was a big deal every year.
Right. That's crazy. Now, what position did you play in basketball?
I played the 3 in high school. And earlier I would play some power forward. Never really played center. You think I played center, but I like to stand outside, shoot the 3. Yeah. Every now and then take it in.
Wow. Now do you still shoot hoops every once in a while now?
Every now and then when Gabe needs to get beaten horse, we'll get out there in that driveway and get some people set straight. So I like to do that every now and then. So
any financial little bets happen during this?
Sometimes, yeah. I think we actually got some teammates coming in this offseason. We're supposed to. It was supposed to be Brandon Brooks and Isaac. Sam Malu was supposed to play for some money. I was getting ready to maybe put in some money myself in just to see that. So we'll see.
That's awesome. So I want to switch gears, talk about now. So football at some point took over, and you started, saying, man, this is my passion. This is what I love. I'm driven by it. But your town that you grew up in was a small town. Mm-hmm. So your high school, you weren't getting the visibility that other places were getting.
Yeah, so Des Bryant went to Lufkin, which is right, 30 minutes from where I'm at. It's a 5A school. And so he may have 1,000 kids in his class.
Right.
And, here I am. I think I graduated with 33. And so
graduating class of 33. Incredible.
Yeah, so we had a lot of two-way players. And it was what I liked about it was that you had to be gritty. It wasn't necessarily, fun all the time. It was just, every game was long, but it was, as far as recruiting, I mean, I can understand why. I mean, I would go to powerhouses too.
Yeah.
The Cadies and Houston and the Dallas schools.
Yeah.
So, it's some of those small towns get easily overlooked.
Yeah, so graduating high school, you're at this place where you're like, man, I love this. I'm passionate about it. This is something I want to do. How did you where did you position yourself to get to the next level?
Yeah, I was very stressed out that summer because I had some small offers. I think Rice offered me, and then a couple Division I AA schools offered me, but I always wanted to go Division I to a prominent school. That was always my goal. So coming out, I didn't want to go to those schools, so I went to junior college, Kilgore, and played there for a year. And after that year, I was doing some split time at quarterback and then at tight end, and there in the spring. And so I had a good spring. I was probably 250. And actually my coach from high school, Keith Thomas, played at Oklahoma, so he knew Merv Johnson, who was I think they had a recruiting at the time at OU. So we would make trips up there in Norman during that off season, going into my second year of college. And then as we went through Fort Worth, Dallas area, we would go visit TCU. So ultimately, those two schools ended up offering me, and I ended up choosing OU.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So here's the two things. I want everybody listening to this to think about these two things. The one is, this is a shock to me, you were a quarterback. Mm-hmm. You quarterbacked. Dude, can I give an analogy, Zog, in the fishing world? Trevor in the fishing world. Gone from quarterback to your position now is like being a finesse guy that likes to fish with 6-pound tests and 50-foot of water to a power fishing guy that wants to sling a jig and a frog all day.
With some braided line.
With braided line, with heavy
with
Power
Pro. 30-pound
'cause
test.
So tell me about that.
It wasn't really a want to. It was really by force. Yeah, so actually I was trying to test my arm out the other day. Hey, ask Josh McCown if you ever see him. Just ask him the other day. We were slinging out there. But, yeah, so basically I wasn't playing much. Or when I got to Oklahoma, I was recruited as a tight end.
As a tight end.
Because that's what they saw me in the spring. And
yeah.
so as I got there, I played some games sparingly. I was a backup tight end. Then ended up switching to defensive end for a little bit. And so going into the spring of my junior year, one of our tackles got hurt. And Bob Stoops comes up to me and asks me if I want to switch. I'm like, hell no. Who wants to be a lineman?
Right.
be one of the fat
so
guys.
your first instinct was hell no.
Fuck
that.
I've always been a skill position player.
Yeah.
It's like Sunshine from Remember the Titans, go and play some offensive guard, offensive tackle. Hey,
yeah.
Hell no. I
Right.
don't want to do it. And then, spring was closing up, and I was at the back end of the depth chart on the DN. So, shit, next thing I knew, I was in pass rush drill over there.
Yeah.
Put on about 20 pounds. Let's go. I'm in there starting at Florida State when we played them. And so, yeah, it all went by really quick. So,
right.
My junior year, I played right tackle. And then my senior year, I played left. So,
yep.
really, I went from not really playing to, out there shuffling my feet. That's what I'm saying. A lot of what I do is, I think, can be attributed to basketball just because how quick and, just the footwork that comes to playing tackle is pretty consistent with basketball, short, quick movements and being explosive. So,
yeah,
I think all that helped me.
Yeah. Now, this is a great segue to my second point, which is, dude, I cannot stress, and Becky, we were talking about this earlier, which is too many, and I'm switch everything fishing world because that's all I know, but so many young fishermen, young kids coming up now think that, it's just all talent-based. Everything should be easy. They create this plan in their head on the way it should be. And when I look back at what you're talking about, your early career, dude, nothing was a given for you. Nothing was ever laid out for you. You worked really hard to get where you're at. And you didn't plan on being where you're at. You had a different vision, but it just happened on its own, right?
Yeah, especially what position I'm playing.
Right.
To be honest, I think if I could play tight end if I had to do it all over again. I think that I still had the ability to, but hey, it's not bad.
Right. No, it's not bad.
It's not bad. It's what I like about it is just the brotherhood and the O-line. And, usually they're kind of unassuming, until they jump off sides or give up a sack. And then so and
until that happens.
Till shit hits the fan, that's when you get noticed. But no, I just found a newfound respect for those guys because, over the years, if I'm being honest, I was a quarterback, I'm worried about throwing touchdown passes, not really the blocking protections.
Yeah.
And that's probably why I got switched.
Yeah. That's awesome. I'm a big believer. We've, in the 6 years of doing this podcast, I cannot tell you how many people have come on and where their life and their career ended up happened just like the story you told. It wasn't necessarily exactly what they planned.
Yeah.
But it happened through a series of events that led you there. And it's awesome, dude. Whether you're religious or whether you meditate or whatever view you take, so amazing to me, dude, that stuff happens the way it's supposed to happen. You believe that? You believe that you're where you're supposed to be in life?
Yeah, I think a lot of it's about how you think and how you talk to yourself. What kind of conversations are you having with yourself? I guess is where you want to be.
Yeah.
I guess it's your personality type. If you want to go out and go get it, I think you can make whatever you want happen.
Yep. All right, I want to switch up now. So let's flash forward a little bit and let's talk about the draft, okay? And if I'm not mistaken, first round draft pick, and two teams looking really hard at you. I can't remember what the other one was. It was Philly and somebody else. It was
Miami.
And I want to know about the mindset as all this is going down, because in the fishing world, the closest thing we have to this, Brian the Carpenter, back me up, or Becky, back me up, would be like when a sponsor, right? We don't necessarily have a draft, but the closest thing we have is like when a big sponsor is creating a team, and you're sitting in the wings and you kind of
where we going? What we doing?
Yeah, you're on this list of Team Toyota or Team whatever, and you're like, look, what's and it's a big thing. Walk me through that, because a lot of people listening they can't even fathom what the emotions are. Walk us through that just a little bit.
Yeah, so, first of all, my family's never been to New York, so here we are at Radio City Music Hall. And I was sitting back there in the green room, and then once, the drafts, so the Chiefs had the first pick, and it's like, it's here, and it's like, you really have no control, so it's really just kind of an emotional moment. You're trying to be in the moment because you don't have any control. But
yeah. So your family's offset.
No, we're all at the table together.
You're all together.
So you're allowed a certain amount of people to be with you back there in the green room. And really
are they more nervous than you are? Or are you
it's a shit show.
It's a shit.
That's what it was. That's exactly what it was. Emotions running high.
Yeah.
And you got just drama everywhere.
Yeah.
And so but I was thinking, maybe the Chiefs are going to pick me number one. I didn't really feel it.
Yeah.
But I actually got a funny story. So at the Combine, the first interview I had was with the Chiefs. And so, like I said, my first start was playing right tackle at Florida State, and I was out there getting just my ass whooped. I was laid off the ball. First start ever. I'm out there nervous. And so they put on that film, Andy Reid does, and he goes, what's going on here, son? I said, I'm getting my damn ass whooped, Coach. I said, that's what it looks like, doesn't it? They didn't know what to say. They were laughing. But
what did Andy say?
He started laughing. He didn't know what to say. He didn't know what to say. And so after the Chiefs, it was Jacksonville. But really, my deal, I thought Miami, because we talked a lot during the process and the draft.
Right.
And so whenever they were calling the third pick, they had a camera on me and they had a camera on Deion Jordan. And so my agent was like, here we go, we're going to Miami. And we started, and then Deion Jordan, I was like, whoa. And then right after that, I knew the Eagles. I knew I wasn't going to get passed up just because what they needed in the draft, the talks that we had, and really just the interaction I have with my coach now, Jeff Statlin. So he was at Alabama coaching at the time. He was our offensive line coach. So his first year in the NFL was my first year. So
wow, you matched up.
And he actually came and worked me out back in my hometown in Grove.
For all the grays that he has?
Yeah, a lot of them.
Oh, man. That's awesome. What a cool story. I don't know. I can't even imagine what that feeling's like, I'm trying to think of something that's happened in my career, but it's awesome. It's exciting. It's anxious, all rolled into one.
Yeah, and
your chest out a little bit right here. You just kicked ass. I remember.
I ran fast.
I remember reading a lot of the stats, and people were had their jaws down at some of the numbers you had at the Combine.
Yeah, it was just. I've always been able to run.
And
So, and far as I think the thing that really helped me was the Senior Bowl, because they saw me against Big 12 competition, but I got to go against the SEC and ACC opponents.
Right.
So I think that was probably
in a broader spectrum.
Yeah, that's actually a lot of those guys like the Combine, but they would rather see a guy play. So that was probably bigger for me than the actual Combine was.
Right. Mm-hmm. All right. Now, Lane, this is Ike Live. Whenever we say Ike Live, we do these very real questions I have to throw at you.
Okay.
And the only rule here at Ike Live, the only rule is you can't lie.
Okay.
You got to be honest, okay?
Okay. Go
Tigers. Here it goes. This moment, they say Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I want to know a before and after. What was your view of Philadelphia as not just as a football team, not just the Eagles as a football team, but what was your view of Philadelphia as a sports city? The fans, the scene.
Coming from Texas.
Be honest now. Your view of Philly before all this happened.
Well, one of my favorite movies is the Rocky series. And then
so
we got that. And then as a young child, when I went through my Disney phase, I had that show, Garbage Kicking, Field Goal Kicking, Philadelphia Phenomenon. So
I never heard of that.
You blend those two? And that was my
Oh my God.
Yeah,
wow.
go look that up.
Look that up.
So yeah, that was my image. So
wow.
I knew it was far as the similarities to Texas was a passion, so I knew that.
Very passionate.
So I knew as far as the intensity was going to be that. But other than that, I'm going, well, where the hell am I going?
Yeah.
And so after that,
wow, so
all brand new.
That surprises me, but no major negative connotations. oh Christ, Philadelphia, like
I was really kind of what you see is what you get.
Right.
Kind of the purity of it, the
Right.
honesty. So
yeah.
yeah.
All right, now reflect back on it. Now take it from the other side. Now here you are. You are an Eagle through and through. You're beloved by fans. You are more a part of the team than anybody in the history of the Eagles. Is your view the same? Do you have a new appreciation for Philadelphia sports and the Eagles, or how's it changed all these years later?
I guess really the passion never dies. I mean, the game days is what you really live for. But
Yeah.
I think just getting, with the NFL, there's so many people coming and going. So I like seeing all these new guys, these young guys, and them come up and to where I can help them. Kind of what Jason Peters and some of the older guys did with me when I was young.
Yeah.
I could kind of help try to pass some of that knowledge.
That's cool.
Back. So I think that's kind of the cool thing.
That is really cool. That's
just because you know what these guys are walking into, that you know kind of what emotions they're feeling, and it's a way to kind of steer them right. I don't want to overdo it.
Yeah.
Let them figure out things for themselves, but to be there.
Do all the more senior guys have that attitude and viewpoint, or is?
Yeah, well, it's just kind of how Kelsey was towards
Right.
me. Even JP, Evan. I mean, I had a lot of older guys. Todd Harriman's my rookie year, so I was surrounded by older guys right when I got there.
And
so
they all.
That's how the culture was.
Right.
And I think that's been passed down for a long time.
Right. See, that's good because in the fishing industry, I think honestly, dude, I ain't gonna name any names. I'm not gonna do any of that. But so many veteran pros in the sport, they see these young kids coming up, right?
It's a threat.
It's a threat. Dude, it's a threat to everything that they are about, their sponsorships.
Their way of life.
Oh, yeah, their way of life. And they're like this. When I'm like, I like your theory, and I try to be like that as much as I can, which is, dude, this is the future. This is the next guy. This is the next me. That's important, man.
Yeah, but hey, I can also with fishing. Hey, don't steal my fishing spot.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
There's a man to go on that bank, and somebody may have to get their ass whooped.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
We talked about that on the boat today.
Yeah, tell me some good stories.
That's happened. Lake Toho a few years back in the lock. Come on. You want to relive it with us, Beck? No. She doesn't relive any of that.
No comment?
No comment.
Okay.
But I think, and we did talk about this on the boat today, I think for those of you watching and listening right now that don't understand the Philly sports vibe from a perspective of being the athlete or the coach or the trainer or the fan, dude, it's very unique. It's passion's a good word. How else would you describe a Philly fan? Fanatical?
Yeah, it's just
crazy.
They're just so full of life and energy. It's a lot of energy at once.
Yeah, it's a lot of energy. It's like everything in their being is about their city, their team, right?
Yeah.
It's
so
like,
that's what I'm saying. The similarities. It's almost football's not a thing. It's a religion. It is life.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah.
And you feel that when you walk in the stadium.
Yeah. Well, I told this story to you guys, to you and Gabe earlier, and I want to tell it again. I don't know if I've ever told this in Lake Live before or not, but we had the Bassmaster Elite Series come here in 2014, and it's something that probably will never ever happen again. And the launches and weigh-ins were at Penn's Landing, and I go in as the favorite, and Penn's Landing, you could not get a seat for 4 straight days of this tournament. You could not get a seat in the Penn's Landing arena there, and the first day, dude, I had an off day.
Pressure's on.
Pressure's on. I made bad decisions. It's tidal. I didn't follow that tide right. I made terrible timing decisions, and I came in with 5. Dude, I had my 5th bite like an hour before, like 30 minutes before I had to come in. I came in with 5 that weighed 8.5 pounds. Terrible. Like less weight than we had today with the fish we caught. And I came in with 5 that weighed 8.5 pounds. Brian Carpenter could remember this too, because I remember him texting me like, "What the hell, dude?" So he's a Philly fan too, right?
You loser.
Yeah, you loser. Like he texted me. It's my friend,
loser.
and he called me a loser. In the biggest turn of my life, you bastard.
What the frig are you doing?
Yeah.
Damn it.
But I swear, dude, I went up on stage, and like they were like 8.5 pounds, and I'm like, I didn't feel like grabbing the fish to weigh him. But I remember,
Just like that.
and I was like in the low 20s. I was like 27, 28, and I remember walking off stage, dude, and I felt this like really like vibed like they were going to fucking kill me.
Feels good.
They were disappointed, and I knew that if I didn't come back and try to win this, they were going to kill me.
Good thing it was July, or they'd thrown snowballs at you.
They would have thrown snowballs at me. I went on. I had a comeback, and I went on to win. But do you get those same feelings sometimes?
Yeah, when we lost to Miami this year, hey, there's damn statues crying blood. Hey, let me tell you something.
They were, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's hard to deal with, right? Was it just me,
yeah.
or is it hard to internalize that?
Hell yeah.
Because you feel like you owe them, right? You feel
Yeah.
like you're like, look, I'm doing what I love. I've got this dream job, man. This is who I am. And then you go out and you have a bad performance. I sucked, and
Yeah.
I felt bad about it.
Yeah.
They wanted to kill me, and I felt bad about it. What the hell's up with that?
Hey, I promise you, there's many days where you like that on the field, especially when you're in the playoff hunt and you go drop a goose egg out there.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking
nice.
of that, Mike, Zach Fishing with Bob, or Yak Fishing with Bob on Instagram wants to know why your chair looks so big.
Why my chair looks so...
It's because that eagle behind him.
Well, just to let you guys
Why
know.
is your chair so big, Mike?
Hey, whatever. Just to let you guys know, it's a nonstop ball busting going on here. In my own studio, I get my balls busted.
In your own house.
In my own house. Lane, Gabe, just to let you know, I'm proud today. I went up to bench pressing 130 pounds. So, just
Hey,
proud of myself.
that's pretty damn good. It's pretty damn good.
It's good, right? See?
You got to start somewhere.
That's what Thank you. Thank you. It's been a long time since I worked out. But through the bad, we kind of were talking about some bad moments there as being a Philly athlete, a Philly fan, a Philly supporter. There are freaking amazing moments too. When I won, I can stop and think about what happened. The moment when they gave me that trophy and said you won. I'm like starting to tear up thinking about it. Dude, I can remember, it was like thousands and thousands of people that were just like in my face with this energy and excitement. And dude, I took that freaking trophy and I went right into the crowd because I wanted it to be for them. And it was the most, I've won a classic. I've won an Angler of the Year. I've had all these big moments in my career.
That's
that
it.
moment
Pinnacle.
was bigger than anything that happened. I got to hear it from you because I know there's similarities. Bring us back, because bring us back to the Super Bowl win.
Yeah.
Because it had to be not just the moment that you guys won, but the shit that goes down over the next couple of days. Bring me back there, because I didn't get to make any of that. I was at an event. I wasn't physically there, but I got to know.
I just think over the years that Philly's has always been the almost team that, they played for it in 04.
Yeah.
Had their ups and downs, had some good years, but never could really quite close it off. So
Yeah.
And then when all our people got hurt and we weren't supposed to be there, I feel like all that was good for us. It made us drew us closer, and then it made us kind of made us carefree, and it made us, I think, play better and gel together.
Yeah.
So when we had that type of energy, and it was there for the taking that day, I think everybody, I don't know, just it was it all went by so fast, but it was a lot of fun. I think what made it fun was just the guys on the team. That's what even with football in general, it's just the guys that you're there with in that season. And so one of my favorite moments is, I think, whenever Brent Selleck was talking to us, he said, "Hey man, when I was a young player, we were at the NFC Championship game," and he said, and I was like, "Hey man, I'll be back." He said, "Here I am in year 11, and this is the last time I've been back. This is the only time I've been back." And so probably winning it for a guy like him was probably the
wow.
Because seeing his face after the, because what it means to him after all these years spending and watching him win it, and watching some of these guys that have been in the organization for a long time win it, that was probably the most gratifying thing about it. And then I remember right when the final seconds went off, I was sitting on the bench, and I watched everybody just storm the field. Everybody's going crazy. I just kind of sat there for about 10 seconds and watched everybody run around, and started hugging
So
players.
you sat back.
Yeah.
You wanted to soak it all in. So you weren't in that initial
and not get trampled at the same time. let the
I
Lions
don't think
run by
anybody
me.
could trample you, but
You'd be surprised. So let the Lions clear out for about 10, 15 seconds, and I got up and joined the party. But, yeah, it was
how
it was
cool.
special. Mhm.
How cool. Is there, looking back on that day, is there one thing besides those 10 seconds when you sat there, is there one thing that you remember, just vividly remember about that game that was special? The Philly.
Yeah, it was probably just the calmness before the game. That was kind of eerie.
The calmness.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was like it was a looseness. It was a confidence.
Right.
And I think that was developed through the year because there wasn't a game where we went in that we knew we weren't overmatched with talent.
Yeah.
We knew we had the ability. We knew we had the leadership, and so that's a good feeling knowing you have all those going into games. And
Yeah.
you just a lot of that dealt with a lot of the veteran players kind of showing us the way. So
Yeah. It's amazing. I mean, I can't imagine. I mean, there's so many. How many players in the history have been through the NFL that have never got to experience that moment? I mean, thousands and thousands, right? Never got to even play in that game,
yeah,
let alone win it.
That's what made me, the older guys and that have been there for a long time that never, like, especially Brent.
Yeah.
It's because he was, he was one of those guys he was just tough, man. If he was ever hurt or, he just always came through. So that's one of my favorite moments.
It's very, very cool. And by the way, we went in and Becky made some amazing chicken white chili for us. And we were in there real quick. I snuck you into my office, and I let you hold the classic trophy, which I thought was really cool. Because I think there is a similarity there. Our classic is it's our Super Bowl. It's as close as we have to it.
That means you're trying to get your hands on the Super Bowl trophy.
It's in the case. But
I do want to touch it. I would like to touch it. I want to touch it in the back. Definitely want to touch it in the back. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was surprised at how heavy it was, and I was telling you how when I picked up the Super Bowl trophy, I was like, "What the hell?" So I worked my whole life to pick up this damn light thing.
And it was like 11 pounds.
Yeah, 11 or 12.
How about that?
So I was surprised. I was like, I thought it'd be heavier, but it feels cool.
I don't know what that means, but the classic trophy weighs 40 or 50, and the Super Bowl trophy is only 11. So I don't.
11 or 12.
I don't know
Something
what
like
that
that.
means. Yeah.
Speaking of which, Ron's back Cowboy on YouTube.
Are you on, Bri?
Am I not on?
Let me just make sure. I just want to make sure you're on. I can't hear you great through my phones, but I just want to make sure your mic's on.
No, I'm not hearing me either.
Okay. The other really, really cool moment, and by the way, let's take it back just for a super second. When you guys won, we were at Lake Martin in Pell City, Alabama, fishing an elite event, and I was with John Cruz and Ish Monroe in a rental house. We watched the game. We're in this pristine rental house where you're not supposed to damage anything. Everything's supposed to be, it's a nice rental house.
Yeah.
Dude, the moment that you guys won, and John Cruz, I got to get you the video of this. Dude, I did a full-on Tom Cruise, Oprah Winfrey, and I'm jumping on the couch at the rental house screaming, yeah! And here, John and Ish aren't necessarily Eagles fans, so they're looking at me like, okay.
That's years and years of rage just built up.
Years and years of rage.
Been waiting to come out.
And pride.
Yeah.
Mixed in there. But that's my story about when you guys won. But the course of the next couple days are really special, too, because – of course, you guys are celebrating. It's a huge moment. There's fanfare. There's media. There's interviews. But talk a little. I need you to talk a little bit about what happened at the parade because
that happened.
That happened.
Yeah.
But watching it was super special to me as a fan watching what went on, and especially the dog mask. Come on, give me the background on this. I know we talked about it a little bit on the water, but give me the background on it.
Yeah, it was really because we weren't expected to do much in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, Chris Long was like, we should get some masks, some underdog masks.
Underdogs.
So
yeah.
Chris Long's idea, so should have went
Boy,
online.
Neil
And
Brooks has that, man.
next thing you know, some German Shepherd masks make its way. I told Jason Peters to hold them, so after the game when we win, to pull them out. So we did, and then. I don't know. I mean, that's the kind of energy you get from Philly. Even with the Rocky movies, kind of that whole mentality, I think it really caught on. And a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun at the time. And, they went from like $12 to $42. The mass did. And I thought that was pretty funny.
It's unbelievable. So when we looked at it, when we went back and looked at it, literally they sold out like overnight. And if I'm not mistaken, Amazon was importing them from China. They couldn't get them back in quick enough. Mm-hmm. Do you regret not getting a royalty on any of that? I
didn't have time. I mean,
somehow, dude, you got big people working for you. You should have gotten licensing to that.
We got big people with small minds working for me.
Is Gabe included in that or not included in that?
I was directed at myself.
It was awesome, and I'm going to try to do this real quick.
Wait, the mask appeared at the Ike Foundation.
It did. It did. So, yeah, we had –
He breaks out every Friday
God,
night.
it was so good. And I want to try to get this over to Brian the Carpenter real quick if I can. Today, just as a little memento of that, I broke out the hat as well. So I'm going to get this over to Brian. I don't know if we could put this up on the screen or not, but I want to send it to you. Had to be just a party. Had to be an amazing party. The energy.
Yeah.
What did it feel like? The fans.
I felt like a drunk blur, if I'm being honest. for being honest.
Yeah.
No,
a lot of drinking, a lot of celebration.
It was funny just being on the bus and literally people everywhere. It was just, people on the sidewalk, people on stairs, people on roofs, people
everywhere.
People in trees.
And trees.
People had beer everywhere. There was just cans going everywhere and people getting hit. You catch one, here we are, we're ducking. So, yeah, and then it was, and then once you get to that point where you start feeling good, then we start hopping buses. And all I remember is Kelsey, I'm following Kelsey the whole time. He's got his costume on, running around slapping hands. It was like Billy Madison. I was following, or not Billy, Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
It was like Happy Gilmore just going on a rage.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I would have loved to experience that. It had to be good. I got to talk about this before we go on. And this, by the way, if everybody's watching and listening right now, if you're going to listen to this later, this ain't going to be a 3-hour podcast, believe me. I know Becky's back there like, not another 3-hour podcast. I'm not going to do that to you.
Not another one.
Not another one. But I do want to talk about – I got to talk about the rivalries. And again, I need to know about it because in fishing, believe it or not, and little harder to draw the analogy because in fishing – it's you, right?
Yeah, you're your competition.
It's me, and my competition's either the other angler or the fish, right? That's my competition. So it's a little different from fishing to football, but in pro fishing, there are rivalries. Some are real. I would say some are real, where anglers have this.
They may not be real to you; they may be real to them.
Right? Have a love-hate relationship, and the fans view it. And some of them, I think, are manipulated by the media. Kevin Van Dam's one. And for years, the fans always assumed that Kevin and I had this, relationship where we butt heads.
Makes it more interesting, doesn't
it? We hate each other. We're rivals. And that was manufactured. So there's real ones, there's manufactured ones. Talk to me about the two specifically with the Eagles, because the two that come to my mind, obviously, Dallas, first and foremost, I would say, and then maybe Redskins would be number two.
Redskins.
The Giants is another one. Talk to me about some of those rivalries.
Yeah, there's games and there's division games. Obviously you don't want to make one game bigger than the other, but it is what it is. You're playing Dallas, and there's a lot of people, a lot of pride on the line.
Right.
A lot of bragging rights on the line.
Yeah.
And so really those games. When I'm thinking of the Redskins, I'm thinking, hey, I got to block Ryan Kerrigan all game.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be fun. All right, Dallas, I got DeMarcus Lawrence, so that's gonna be fun. And then the Giants. It's all very competitive, but really those weeks, I think the biggest thing is to draw out all external factors and try to clear your mind, because that's the thing during the season. There's so much going on. There's so much what's going to happen if they win. A lot of stuff that can kind of fog your mind and
so taking that out of the
distract
equation,
you. Yeah,
focusing on your job, what you do.
That's what coaches preach a lot, because we live in a distracted world where it's easy, and that's what our world likes to do. Is to
so Lane,
lose
there's
focus.
Nobody from the Giants you're worried about? Is that what I heard?
Huh?
There was literally.
Well, hell, I didn't really play them this year. I played them for about a quarter, so I didn't really get to experience the Giants this year. I remember last year they had Olivier Vernon, so yeah, it's like riding a damn bull. Going against that guy.
Oh my God!
I have other guys that can vouch for that too. Guys strong.
Wow, that's crazy. So in the advent of social media days, we've got Twitter, we've got Instagram, we've got Facebook. Are there real personal rivalries between you guys? I mean, are there? And you don't have to name any names. Are there guys that you just you go, you see that game coming up week whatever, and you're like, I hate that fucking asshole.
I don't hate them. I respect them, but I think it makes it fun kind of every now and then.
Yeah.
Talking some shit. Hey, sometimes it backfires, but sometimes you get yours. It's what the game's about. But really, far as that, I feel like with social media, everybody puts their best foot forward. Everybody's having just a damn perfect day when, a lot of times they're not. So
Right.
it's just all.
Right.
It can be a good thing, but it can be a lot of smoke and mirrors too.
Yeah. Yeah. We did talk a little bit about that earlier too. When we were talking about UFC. We're talking Conor McGregor, guys like that have been so good at smack talking, and it seems like it elevates their game.
Yeah.
Did you ever utilize that in your career? Where
Hell yeah.
talking smack to actually elevate your performance?
I think when you put that pressure on me, I think the more pressure, the better I play, because I
Right.
don't know what it does, but if you're more heightened awareness,
Yeah.
it kind of awakens your body. If you feel, I guess you feel alive is what you feel.
Yeah. Yeah, I did do that. I've done that in my career.
But it's hard to sustain it. It's
hard to sustain
It's like
it.
boxers. Hey, they got this one fight. Well, hey, oh shit, I got 15 more games after this. I got to back this shit up. So yeah,
It's hard to sustain it, and I haven't always been right either. I remember talking shit a few times where I talk shit about going into a tournament and beating them up, and I catch crap.
Okay.
Like especially in places I know, like Lake Champlain. I remember, like it's up. I mean, I've been fishing Champlain since '90, and I just was talking smack. These guys are in big trouble.
backfired.
If you win practice, you lose the tournament.
Oh yeah, if you win practice, you lose the tournament, and it backfire. But I've also done the opposite way. The classic of 2014, I bombed. I had a shitty classic, and I was so pissed off. I got up on stage, and I remember literally in front of classics, our biggest stage ever, arena of 30,000 people. And I went up there, and I knew Delaware River in Philly was going to be on the schedule. And I went up there and said, man, I said, you watch out. You wait for I don't remember exactly what I said, but I said, when that tournament comes around, all of them are in trouble. I'm going to win that one straight out, and I talk smack, and it worked for that one.
Yeah.
But I've had ones where it didn't, too,
Yeah, I think it's I don't know, get yourself more motivated.
Yeah.
I think when you do that, and I don't know. I think it's worked out for a lot of people.
Yeah. Brian the Carpenter,
Michael?
as a fan of the Eagles, take me back in the history of the Eagles. Is there one moment in the chronicles of the Eagles' history since you were a young lad that you look back on and say, man, that was my fondest memory of the Philadelphia Eagles?
Well, clearly the Super Bowl, which was ridiculous. That game was almost unreal. Just, beating the Patriots, you couldn't imagine anything better. But, aside from that, going back to the Randall Cunningham days, they were pretty wild. There's a lot of Randall moments that he did some shit that shouldn't have happened.
Yeah,
Do you
Gumby.
remember Randall Cunningham, or was that before?
Yeah, he
you?
was Stretch Armstrong. He could just. He was. He had unique balance and just athleticism
Yeah, he did.
at the quarterback. He was a lot of fun to watch.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
Super, super fun. Yeah, and Ron Jaworski is a big
I'm Ron
icon.
Jaworski.
Jaworski.
Ron Jaworski.
Ron
here.
Jaworski. Jaws is a big icon.
He's a great dude. Great dude.
Do you know Ron personally? That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I mean he's around a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Is it like so? We talked earlier about some of the icons of fishing, and we were talking about Bill Dance, and I told you that I had breakfast with him, and I was like, "It's Bill Dance."
Yeah.
Was it like that with Ron, or was it more kosher?
I mean, it's a lot of those guys.
Yeah.
I mean, even Dawkins, even Harold Carmichael. But as far as teammate wise, probably my rookie year whenever Mike Vick was the quarterback.
Yeah.
Growing up, everybody had the 04 Madden. He was the cover of it. That's who you played with when you played
Right.
Madden. So
Yeah.
that was pretty cool.
Yeah. All right. I want to, Brian DeCarver, I'm going to switch gears, and
Yes.
I've only got like 3 other things on my list here. It's not going to be
I've got something.
too nice. Yeah. What do you got?
What's that say? Bronzeback Cowboy on the YouTube feed said he was benching 130 in middle school.
Oh,
Goes back a little bit, but I just
Whatever.
hey, we don't believe it. Hey, you got to do it now.
Shout out to Bronzeback Cowboy.
Whatever. meet me at the gym, bro. Meet me at the bro barn. We'll see. Put it all on the line. I don't care.
It's not real. It's not on social media.
That's
That's right.
not real.
It's not real. It's all crap. I do want to change topics, and I got to address this with you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of the best way to put this.
Uh-oh.
The money
Oh,
that you guys are making in football is unfucking believable.
some people are making.
Some people are making. Most people, dude. I'd venture to say, and we can get stats on this. The lowest paid professional football player in all the NFL is still probably making way more money than, let's say, number 70 on the list in professional fishing. Would you agree with that?
Well, probably.
I got one for you. It's going to be funny. The same shit you're saying to me is what I'm saying to basketball players. And what I'm saying to the first
Basketball player
baseman,
money is
you know,
stupid. That
they
shit
talk
is
about
stupid.
all these games the baseball players play. Every time I watch them, they're doing a whole lot of this,
Yeah.
chewing their damn bubble gum, waiting for something to happen. That pitcher's up there working his ass off.
I agree with
First
Lane.
baseman over there, 40
Yeah.
million.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
agree
jealous,
with Lane,
too.
Like baseball's out of line. Basketball's way the freaking
Right.
line. Them guys,
Yeah.
them guys are sidelined with,
Right.
with hangnails.
Yeah.
But football players, I mean, they beat the shit out of themselves.
Yeah.
Some guys get paid.
Yeah.
Some guys at the top get paid.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys that have, 9-month careers and are crippled for the,
Yeah.
wear that shit for the rest of
Absolutely.
their lives.
Yeah.
I hear you.
I know. I had to bring it up. I had to bring this
Yeah.
analogy
Yeah.
up because, and here's the thing about it, dude. I love your story. I love stories like yours because, dude, you worked for everything you got, and I love
Yeah, it's
it.
just long road.
I applaud you for that. I applaud every athlete for that got to that point. But it blows me away. It blows me away, in a good way. In a good way. Honestly, like fishing. We talked about this out in the boat a little bit today. Our sport aspires to get to the level of a football or a baseball or a basketball, to the point where we bring in more fans and people can make a better living. We aspire to have what a lot of you guys have in the NFL. It's amazing. It's amazing. Does it blow you away? I pinch myself now just that I get to fish for a living. But does it blow you away?
Yeah, but really, as far as the money's concerned, man, I don't live. I live like Forrest Gump. Hey, I'm not.
You're a normal dude, and
I'm a normal dude, yeah.
I can tell that. I know
Yeah,
I
so,
know that. I can see that.
As far as that's concerned, but other than that, really, I just as far as the football concept, it's never changed. As far as the passion and really what I do, I've always
Right.
had the love for the game, and just more the people that I'm in there with, my teammates, and I, even. When it's all said and done, I think what most guys will remember is their teammates, who they played with,
Right.
the guys they're around. Because
Your
as
peers. Yeah.
all this stuff fades away in time. But
Yeah.
those relationships,
Yeah.
that's what lasts.
Yeah. Now, here's the great thing, and I do want to talk you up a little bit here, is I'm a fan of all sports, a lot of sports. And I see a lot of athletes get to a high level and make a tremendous amount of income and never give back. And one of the things I want to talk you up for is, dude, you give back, which is amazing. I'm so glad you do. We were good friends with some other athletes that have charities, have foundations, work with scholarship funds. You give back. Is that something you always knew you would do, or is that something that came with success?
When I had the opportunity to do it, yeah.
Yeah.
It's something I think just in my heart, just people that I've grew up with, the town I was in. A lot of not a whole lot of stuff for these guys to work with. So whatever I can, that's my future plans, giving back to my high school. But as far as my college, them getting a new locker room or a new weight room, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's something that I can go back and. The coaches that were coaching me there, now they have, and it's something, I just want to pay it forward and light their lives up a little bit. So that's probably the funnest thing. Just watching how happy those guys are, because that's what pays off.
It's so good to see that, because I see so many athletes, celebrities not do that. It's so awesome to see that. And what you're doing with, education in the Philly area too is awesome. We try to do that with the Ike Foundation, with getting kids in Philly and Camden, New York City, kids that don't normally fish.
Yeah.
Giving them the chance to fish, giving them an opportunity. I can't say enough about what you do. That's so important, dude.
Yeah,
I want people to know that, I want people to and I think everybody has a responsibility to do that. You
Yeah,
know?
I think it's just reflection. I guess people that I grew up around. A lot of people didn't have any money, but they, what they did was, you're the next door neighbor. You're like, part of the family. So it's
Right.
kind of a close knit area, and so a lot of good people where I come from. So
Yeah.
anything to make their lives better and help them out a little bit, I'll do that.
That's awesome. Well, hats off for doing that. Brian DeCarpenter, what you got?
What was it, the guy's name again on YouTube? Brownsback Cowboy said he was making bass fishing money in middle school.
Doing what?
Wow.
How?
Yeah. Bronzeback Cowboy, I think, was selling a little weed outside or something. It sounded like
Some
to
of the
me.
dime bags out back.
Yeah, little dime bag out the back, out his locker.
Behind the school dumpsters.
He's making plays.
He's making plays. He's trying. I've got this is the last thing I had on my notes, and we did talk a little bit about it out in the water today.
Mm-hmm.
Got to talk about it again. Talk about what's next. What's next for you? Because you're very competitive. I could see even when we were fishing, I could see we talked about it. You're like me. Me and Becky are the most competitive people alive. I could see it in your eyes. You're competitive. But what's next? Looking forward to your future. Give me 5 years, 10 years. What's next, Lane? What do you got planned for your life?
I think, far as a player, I think what I want to be remembered as is, I want to be one of the best right tackles to ever play the game. And so when people think of a guy that was unique for his position, I would like to be remembered as that. Far as moving forward, to think of, I've been around this game for a long time. I've been around lots of people, developed a lot of relationships. So probably be a part of maybe the Eagles or a part of some team to where I can maybe evaluate talent, help out some way I can. It's not even about the money, but just being a part of something.
So you want to stay in the sport, even after your competitive drive is done, you're ready to walk away.
Probably because I can transfer that energy into and help develop young kids. I think with our coach Stoutland, I think with what I've seen from him as a coach and how he develops people, all you are is a teacher.
Yeah.
And so I think there's nothing more rewarding than passing on knowledge, watching it get in, soaked in and then used.
Yeah.
So I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. I can tell you I want to do the same. And, the interesting thing is, and we talked about it out there on the boat today, is the longevity of a professional angler is longer because, it's more of a mental thing. And
because nobody's tackling you.
Nobody's tackling you. And Rick Clunn, 69-70 and won last year.
Tackled.
Rick Clunn still hasn't been tackled.
Still
Speaking
hasn't.
of Rick Clunn, though, can I call you to the plate on the Rick Clunn story?
Yeah, so I grew up in Cold Spring, Texas. There on Lake Livingston. So
Lake Livingston?
had a lake house, and I was always crazy about fishing. And so anybody that ever came up close to my pier, I was asking, "Wait, can I get something signed?" A lot of these guys are regular guys fishing tournaments, local tournaments, and so I go out there. He's like, "Sure, young man." And so he signs a piece of paper for me. Then he gives me a bunch of stuff out of his tackle box, which all these years I've seemed to lose. But anyways, I get back, and one of my family friends was there who knew a lot about fishing. He goes, "Are you kidding me?" He said, "Boy, you just went down there and got a signature from a top 10 angler in the world." And he told me who it was, Rick Clunn. And
Top
so
10.
Dude.
at the time, or top 5, I
Yeah.
guess that year. But he was
Yeah.
saying what a big deal he was. And so Rick Clunn, and I think that was probably 1996, 97.
It's unbelievable. And I told you, it's right, Gabe, right behind you. If you look in that frame, there's Mr. Clunn right there, who in the sport of fishing is one of the most iconic figures ever. A legend, probably the greatest of all time. He is the GOAT in fishing. And, dude, he actually gave you baits.
And his reaction was like, "Son of a bitch, what the hell? Do you just realize what you've done?" It's like, "No, man, I'm 8 years old." So I had no idea at the time, but it was cool.
That's so cool.
Well, Rick's so unassuming, too.
He's very unassuming.
Yeah, and he was nice. A lot of these, just give me stuff out of his tackle box. Here, you take it.
Yep.
I had no clue.
Very unassuming.
Very unassuming.
Just he like something like that he knew to do. It was so amazing that he went out of his way and did that. But he would never make a big deal about that. No. That's Rick. You know what I mean? That's just something he would do without wanting any accolades for it
Yeah.
at all. You know, it's crazy. Such a cool work. Brian Carpenter.
So what's the outdoorsman? What's the fishing vibe like in the NFL?
There's a few guys that do it.
I'd say there's a fair amount, and you tell me. But Brian Robinson, who's been on our show, awesome dude. We see him every year at the Classic. We see him at ICAST. He's retired a couple of years now. Played for the Vikings. He runs a charity event. Loves to fish. Trent Cole. Trent reaches out to me here and there. He fishes the local South Jersey stuff.
Fletcher's fisherman. Yep.
Fletcher Carson.
Cox.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually been to Trent's place before. So yeah, I just think it's a good outlet for us to get away. And I guess they're preached to get away from the phone, go out there with your buddy and spend the day on the water. And even if you don't catch nothing, hey, you're out there solving a lot of the world's problems out there. So you're getting something accomplished out there, and it's a lot of fun doing it.
Solving your own problems.
Yeah.
Solving your own problems.
Yeah.
It's therapy out there. Hey, we're going to do some therapy out there.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you this too. I don't think I've ever said this, but I've fished with other professional football players before, and what I saw today, even though we didn't catch a lot from your mechanics, you're one of the best guys in the NFL I've ever fished with. And I know he's not watching, but I want to say it. I had a chance to fish with Deion Sanders
Yeah.
way
Prime
back
time.
in the early 2000s, and you are way better than Deion Sanders.
Yes.
Yes.
Arousing.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Lane, I can't thank you enough for sitting down with us for a little bit. We did talk a little bit about it out there. I can't imagine. I know from our little world of fishing that, the pressure of cameras and fans and media, it sucks sometimes. You just want to be a normal dude. You just want to be you and live your life. And I know how that can weigh on you. Mm-hmm. So I can't thank you enough for taking some time out and doing this with me and coming to fish with me. I mean, honestly, this was a great moment for me. Thank you.
Yeah, and this is what people want to see. They want to see the kind of, who you are and what you do. And I think it kind of gives a good insight for that. So it's, it's all it is. And it's a lot of fun today.
Well, so right before we sign out here, I want to make sure, and I want you to do it on film, you got to uphold our bet, which is, well, there's two parts to it. One, we're going to fish again together under more ideal conditions, and we'll set that up.
17-degree wind chill was nice.
We don't want the
Prime
17-degree wind chill. But the second part of it is you guys are going to invite me out to the Bro Barn for a little workout session.
Yeah.
And can we invite, the dick that keeps texting in? Can we invite him out there too?
The cowboy, the brown cowboy.
Yeah, the brown cowboy.
Hey,
That cowboy on YouTube.
I'll sit on one of those plyo boxes and watch this go down. So.
All right, let's not give him the address, but I do want to come out and hang with you guys for a day and see. I want to see it. I'll be the weak guy lifting 130 pounds.
We're getting some new roof put on it and some insulation because, not gonna lie, it's been pretty damn cold out there. We've been getting a bunch of propane heaters from the Home Depot and just
warmer than it was today, though.
So some days it's been pretty cold.
Okay,
there, but not as cold as this. Today was pretty. Hey,
okay.
Pretty damn cold today.
All right. Lane, I appreciate it. Dude, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Hope everybody had a good time watching tonight. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. I hope you have a blessed year. If you missed it, of course, you can go back and watch any of these episodes, all the fireside chats, all the regular Ike Lives. Go to IkeLive.com, go to Stitcher, go to YouTube, also go to iTunes. If you're at iTunes, please leave us a favorable review. It'll help in some way. Trevor, I don't know how it'll help, but it helps somehow, right?
Definitely.
Okay. Thank you, Gabe. Thank you, Lane. Thank you, Brian Carpenter. Thank you, Trevor Zog. Thank you tonight. Appreciate it. Good night, everybody. Good night. Have a good one.